Shakur Stevenson just went after Tank Davis, accusing him of ducking and avoiding him. But this time, he really took out the receipts. One can't help but wonder if Shakur wins his next fight. Does Tank have any other excuse to avoid him, or would he need to face him? Let's take a look.
Who do you want to see him fight next?
Shakur Stevenson. Now, Lomachenko is a brilliant tactician and a brilliant boxer. Footwork is magnificent, very experienced, etc., etc. My issue with Lomachenko is that I don't know if Lomachenko has the power to stop Gervonta.
Shakur Stevenson took to social media, calling out Gervonta Tank Davis and urging him to stop avoiding a fight between them. Shakur, the undefeated WBC lightweight champion with a record of 21, 0, and 10 knockouts, made it clear that his issue isn't with Tank's former promoter, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Instead, he wants Tank to focus on a fight against him. Tank, holding a 30-0 record with 28 knockouts, has been engaging in trash talk with Shakur for weeks. However, it's uncertain whether this back and forth was genuine or just a way to build interest in Tank's title defense against Frank Martin. That was on June 15th. Many fans were not particularly excited about that matchup, seeing it as a mismatch. And in a way, they were right. Frank Martin proved to be a tough challenger, but in the end, he was still not enough to take Gervonta down. Meanwhile, Shakur's promoters at Top Rank have yet to announce his next opponent for his July 6th title defense on ESPN at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. For Shakur to increase his chances of securing a fight with Tank Davis, he may need to adopt a more aggressive approach in the ring, moving away from his usual hit and not get hit strategy, and being willing to engage in a more intense battle. Shakur has called out Tank Davis again on social media, telling him to stop hiding behind Floyd Mayweather. Shakur wants Tank to focus on fighting him. He said he's tired of talking about it and wants to make the fight happen. Fans are also getting impatient, waiting for this fight between Tank and Shakur. The delay seems to be on Tank Davis's side, as he hasn't shown much interest in fighting Shakur or anyone else who could be a real challenge. You would think that by now, Shakur Stevenson would have realized what Gervonta Tank Davis is about and given up on fighting him. But Shakur keeps pushing for the fight, which shows how few big-name fighters are left in the lightweight division.
You know, Shakur is a very talented, skillful, technique fighter.
Yeah.
You know, can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world. Scared to get touched up in front of the world.
Are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general? In general.
Yeah.
In general. Me and Shakur sparred before. We did 3 rounds, and it was just light work and me trying to figure out his jab. Does he have a good jab? Yeah, he does. But once you pass his jab, it's game.
Yeah.
It's food. It's lunch food. I am the best. I don't see no contract that says Shakur's name on there.
Yeah.
So until then, I'm gonna say and talk my stuff.
Yeah.
And if you want to come that way, then come that way. I mean, you have investors that are with you, and that's great. But they understand that they cannot have you come this way, because I am too much of a gamble for anybody.
With Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia moving up to 140 pounds, the lightweight division lacks popular fighters that can draw big pay-per-view numbers, except for Tank. However, Tank has been carefully managed to avoid tough fights throughout his 11-year career.
Hey, for now, bro. For now. Hey, for now.
Tank's career has mostly been about getting fans excited by talking about fights with big names he never actually plans to fight. Shakur has been calling out Tank for a while, saying that Tank is dodging him because he knows Shakur is a real challenge at 135 pounds. Shakur believes a fight between him and Tank would be the biggest showdown in the lightweight division, pitting the 2 best fighters against each other. As Shakur prepares for his fight against Artem Harutyunyan on July 6th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, his main focus remains on a future bout with Tank Davis. He's confident that he can dominate Harutyunyan, who recently lost by unanimous decision to Frank Martin. But Shakur is primarily looking ahead to a clash with Davis. At 26 years old, Shakur points out the age difference between him and the 30-year-old Tank, while also questioning Tank's track record of fighting elite opponents. Shakur doesn't shy away from expressing his frustration. He wonders how many times Tank is going to claim he's going to fight an elite fighter without actually doing it. Shakur has held titles in 3 different divisions and has been a unified world champion in the junior lightweight category. Yet he hasn't faced big names like Davis, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, or Ryan Garcia. This leaves him feeling sidelined in the competitive boxing landscape. Shakur has been very vocal on social media, urging Tank to stop ducking him and make the fight happen. He believes it's simple to arrange the fight. Just send the contract. Shakur acknowledges that Tank is the more recognized fighter, but insists he is ready and waiting for the fight. Besides his focus on Davis, Shakur is also dissatisfied with Frank Martin, who was initially scheduled to fight him for the vacant WBC lightweight title last November, but pulled out. This left Shakur to secure the title in a less thrilling bout against Edwin de los Santos. Martin hasn't fought since last July, which makes Shakur question his legitimacy as an elite fighter. Shakur knows that to get Tank's attention, he might need to change his strategy. His defensive hit and not get hit style might need to take a back seat. In a recent social media post, Shakur called out Tank again, emphasizing that Tank's issue isn't with Floyd Mayweather, but with him, and he wants to make the fight happen. Tank Davis, with his star power and unbeaten record, is the kind of opponent who can elevate Stevenson's career and bring attention back to the lightweight ranks. However, Davis's career has often focused on generating buzz without facing top contenders. This frustrates Stevenson, who feels used to hype Davis's fights without any real intention from Davis's team to follow through. In the lead-up to Davis's recent fight against Frank Martin, Davis's camp used the potential matchup with Stevenson to generate interest. This strategy worked, and Davis won by knockout against Martin. However, using high-profile names to draw attention while fighting lower-risk opponents continues to be a hallmark of Davis's career. This frustrates fans and leaves contenders like Stevenson sidelined. Davis still has to decide his next fight, potentially a high-stakes bout against either Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Both Haney and Stevenson are prominent fighters tied to top rank, promising a thrilling showdown for boxing fans. Davis, now a free agent, hasn't held back his thoughts about Stevenson, questioning the hype surrounding the two-division champion. Stevenson remains confident, despite Davis's comments. He recently claimed he would win if they ever met in the ring, calling the 135-pound weight class overrated. Stevenson's confidence and belief in his abilities are evident as he aims to establish himself in the lightweight division. Adrian Bronner, a close friend of Davis, believes Stevenson would be the most difficult fight for Tank. Two champions squared off. Davis, known for his knockout power, remains confident he can solve the puzzle that is Stevenson. His impressive record showcases his ability to end fights with a single punch. Davis's meticulous approach to his craft emphasizes precision, timing, and technique, making him a formidable opponent. Meanwhile, Stevenson sees a future clash with Davis as inevitable and monumental for boxing. He believes it will be a major highlight in his career, driven by his desire to face the best and prove his dominance. Stevenson acknowledges Davis's talent, but maintains his confidence. He believes he is more disciplined inside and outside the ring. Comparing Davis to Adrian Bronner, Stevenson highlights Davis's superior talent. Despite the challenges, Stevenson is eager for a future fight with Davis, confident it will be one of the biggest boxing events in the world. Bob Arum, the head of Top Rank, seems cautious about rushing Stevenson into a fight with Davis. Arum's strategy appears to involve gradually testing Stevenson against moderate opposition at 135 pounds before considering a showdown with Davis. This approach aims to ensure Stevenson is fully prepared for the challenge that Davis represents. Despite Davis's criticisms of Stevenson's power and experience, Stevenson remains steadfast in his belief that he would emerge victorious in a potential fight. He has confidently declared that the 135-pound weight class is overrated, signaling his readiness to take on the best it has to offer. Davis, renowned for his knockout power, believes his ability to deliver crushing blows will be the key to defeating Stevenson. Davis's knockout of Frank Martin showcased his proven track record of ending fights decisively. He attributes his success to a combination of power, accuracy, and timing. This precision, coupled with his raw power, makes him a daunting opponent for anyone, including Stevenson.